10 things longtime Skyrim players hate. I wonder what those are.
Many of us have played Skyrim since it came out back in 2011. From time to time, I even still pick it up myself.
Yeah, I
There's
still play it
tons
too.
of stuff to love, but there's tons of stuff to not love. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 things longtime Skyrim players hate. Starting off at number 10, it's playing Skyrim unmodded. Even after all these years, the OG game is still really buggy in places.
Yeah,
there are
true.
bugs present in it now, in 2021, that were there all the way back in 2011 when it was originally released. Of course, there are mods to fix that, but
Oh, and do you guys know why that is? I have the answer for that. And there's like a lot of cut content too. If you join one of the factions, for example, like let's say the Stormcloaks, for example, you were like supposed to have the option to siege cities that are owned by the Imperials and vice versa. And they had to cut this content, and was it Winterhold or somewhere? There was also supposed to be an arena, and the Sheogorath quest was intended to be way bigger, with like also a new location you get into besides the one where you meet Sheogorath. And they cut this all because there was a deadline. They had to release this game on this and that date, right? So they rushed it, and what happened? There were bugs that they didn't fix, and they cut some really cool content like Siege War, the arena, and some Daedra quests have been cut short. Unfortunately, it would have been nice if they would have added it, but the game would have released later, and the company didn't want that. Yeah.
the fact that some issues went never addressed by Bethesda for such a long period of time mean that for a certain group of Skyrim fans, the game is considered unplayable without mods. I mean, it's not really true. The game is fine to play without
but
modding,
people
but
have,
for a lot of fans,
yeah,
that
people
is
are
the
spoiled.
only way to play. It's no secret that Skyrim has maybe the largest, most active, and probably best modding community out there.
That's
like,
true.
If there's one older game that is still around today that's well known for its modding scene, it's Skyrim. They run the
There are actually mods in Skyrim that makes Skyrim look like a game that was just released maybe this year or so. Like, there are some mods that put the graphics on such a high level and make like the NPCs look like they're from some super modern game. Like, it's crazy like how far the modding community has gotten in Skyrim. It is insane. There are really cool mods, and there are even like additional quests and stuff already, and some really interesting quest lines, by the way.
gamut from basic
I love
bug
it.
fixes to total conversion, and there's so much
heck?
good stuff there that it's kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah,
There's not
Dragon
just
Ball
like
Flame.
Macho Man as a dragon or Thomas the Tank Engine as a dragon.
Thomas
There's
the
a lot
Tank.
of really polished, interesting mods out there. But
That's like
here's the thing,
Dragonflight
most
WoW,
people
right?
don't play
Dractia.
Skyrim with any mods at all. The PC population is big, but it's only a small slice of the Skyrim pie. The console players only get a small sampling of Bethesda-approved mods for the console, and I have to
Yeah, I feel like if you're playing Skyrim on console, you have such a limit. Like, if you have a PC, just get Skyrim for PC. It's pretty cheap right now. I think it's just like $20 or so, maybe even cheaper. I'm not sure. I would have to check, but I think I saw an offer here for, I think it was like 20 something dollars. So it's not that expensive. You can easily get it. And I think, yeah, on computer, if you like always use new mods, you're not even running out of content. Like, what I'm always worried about in single-player RPG games in comparison to MMOs, that I will run out of content. Because in MMOs, you have like certain scores you can hit in like dungeon runs and stuff with your guild friends and stuff. You have PvP, you have this, you have that, you can RP. But you don't have it that heavily in single-player RPG games, right? But Skyrim is one exception because it has like random encounters. That means if you're playing on, let's say, a warrior, and next time you play on a mage and you pass by a certain area, maybe somewhere near to Riften, one time you get attacked by some freaking wolves, then the next time on another character it's a group of bandits or maybe even vampires. So they're like random encounters, what is really nice, what makes the game not die out content wise. But what also really contributes to that, and what in my opinion contributes the most to Skyrim not dying out yet and people still playing it, is the modding community. Like, there are so many mods that will like change the whole gaming experience, add new quests, let you play as a different race even and stuff. I think it is incredible. Like, there is so much. If you have finished Skyrim and you don't know what to do, but you would love to play it again and have a good feeling again, just download some mods and you're good to go. And by the way, guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comment section how you feel about the mods in Skyrim. Do you like the mods in Skyrim? Do you frequently download them and try out new ones? Let me know.
Imagine most players just ignore it. They're totally fine playing the game vanilla, but for hardcore and long-term people, it's the mods that keep them coming back.
True.
And not like the stellar, untouched, pristine, original gameplay.
What is
Obviously,
this?
the game's good on its own, but it's also old and buggy.
As a cook.
At number 9 is Nazeem. There are a lot of characters people pick on in Skyrim.
Oh,
There's
Nazeem.
Lydia, Delphine, probably the most hated NPC of all of them, however, is
Have you
this
ever
dude
been to the
named
Cloud
Nazeem.
District?
A lot of newer players may not even notice this guy. For some people, the annoyance starts almost immediately, but it's longtime players that really have a burning hatred for him. See, he basically has one thing that he does. He stands near the entrance in Whiterun, one of the first towns you go to in the game, and says,
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
like, just a blatant display of disrespect for the Dragonborn from Nazeem here. Shocking. There's so much about this that rubs people the wrong way. The way he implies that you're a loser, the way he constantly repeats the line every time you pass him in Whiterun, the fact that the Cloud District
I think
isn't
I once
even
killed
really
him 'cause he
fancy.
upset me.
Like, there's so much about it that makes people mad. Another infuriating aspect to him is the fact that he's got a key to a place called Winter Sand Manor, which
But
you can pickpocket, but the
you
key
cannot
doesn't
find it.
actually go anywhere. Winter Sand
Yeah.
Manor was a place that the developers took out of the game, but the key's still there. You can pick it up, and
That's the sad part. Like, there's so much cut content. I wish they would have released that. Not only that, but there are also some like other buildings and zones that they completely removed, and quest lines were like cut short a lot. It's sad.
add insult to injury,
But
you
mods
cannot
fixes
drop
this.
it.
There's a
It's
mod, I
stuck
think,
in
for
your
this.
inventory
I
now,
think I saw one.
forever taunting you with a key to a place that does not exist. But let's be real, the main reason everybody hates this guy is because he's got a dumb, condescending line that he just repeats constantly. Every single time
Isn't
you come
his
to
wife
Whiterun,
having an
and for
affair or
longtime
something
players,
with
it's got to
someone?
be like hundreds of times. You're forced to hear this random dude make fun of you with a lame insult. I literally ended the Civil War and saved this country by myself. Just shut up. At number 8 is Draugr tombs. Dungeon design in Skyrim can get repetitive after a while, and there's no tile set more common and more hated than the Draugr tombs. These things are everywhere.
Huh?
Many
I like
quests
them,
send
actually.
you to explore them, and once you've been to one of them, you have been to pretty much all of them. In some ways, caves are potentially more repetitive, but for whatever reason, the shape and style of Draugr tombs just starts getting really annoying to see. A big part of it's probably the Draugrs in them, which turn into annoying damage sponges at higher.
I see now what he means. So yeah, there are like some similarities. Like some of the Draugr crypts, they have similarities with other ones, and it looks like they just copy paste certain rooms. Yeah, like that makes sense. Yeah, I've noticed that too a little bit.
Levels. To be really reductive, a lot of the quests in Skyrim boil down to go to dungeon, kill a bunch of Draugr, get an item,
Yes.
leave, rinse, repeat. If you do absolutely every quest in the game, the dungeons start to look really samey. There's Draugr, some spiders, a word wall, same.
But
two
it's
puzzles
still
that
fun
show
for
up
me,
way too often.
actually,
Hell, even the final
explore them.
dungeon of the game is a basic Draugr tomb with a block puzzle and a claw door puzzle. It's
Okay,
not
that's
necessarily
annoying a
that any
bit,
of
the
this is
puzzle.
bad. It's just a case of familiarity breeding resentment. There are too many Draugr tombs in Skyrim, and if you play the game enough, you will start getting tired of them. At number 7 is home decorating. The fact that you can customize the interior of your house is actually an awesome thing in Skyrim.
why not the
problem,
outside?
It comes from when you're trying to put stuff on shelves or move things around while the in-game physics go crazy. There's so many little annoyances when dealing with decorating, and it's something only the really hardcore players who love building up their house.
You know what I really hate in the housing? And that's when like Lydia is walking around and she's like moving my stuff around. Like I always hated it. I put something somewhere and then like Lydia passes by and it freaking falls down and stuff. Oh, I hate that.
And displaying stuff will even start to notice.
Like, it's not even
basically
myself,
anyone
but
can
it's
notice how
people
weird the
that,
physics
like,
in this
freaking
game can
throw
be at
this
times.
down.
Usually it's not that big of an issue though, but if you want to create a space that actually looks really nice, then the whole grab system the game employs goes from being an
Yeah, there's
amusing
no-
and
no,
janky thing
tool
to
for
screw
that.
around with to the bane of your existence. You will always be knocking things around, moving stuff you don't
Yeah, by
want to move, or
accident.
colliding with things that don't look close at all. Most
not so
annoying
smooth.
of all is when the physics just go crazy and all the loose objects in the house just go nuts and fly everywhere, completely ruining whatever it is that you're going for. Like, it's hilarious to watch.
It's actually a mod that
trying
fixes
and not
this.
just goofing off. This is beyond annoying. It's another case of Bethesda physics in motion. They can be your funny friend, but also your worst enemy when you actually care.
Yeah.
And number 6 is the creepy children. This is something you're probably
Creepy
gonna
children?
only notice if you go deep into making a family or adopting kids. But the children in Skyrim are super creepy. Like, really
Why?
creepy. They all look like little clones of one another. They always have that weird blank expression on their face that just makes them look like weird.
Yeah, but one thing is actually really weird. Each time I see freaking female kids, I always think they are like vampires or something. Like, I don't know why. They have this kind of dead look. Like, not that he thinks that he mentions it. Like, they do have this kind of dead expression on their face sometimes. Kind of like kids from like a horror movie or something.
Weird dolls. The creepiest and most bizarre thing about them is when they do animations that aren't built for children, like sitting down in a chair or using an alchemy station, they suddenly transform to having the proportions of an adult. I am not sure what's weirder, when they shrink back to normal when the animation is over,
Or when they
or
stare
when they
at you.
sometimes stay adult size, so now they're a man-sized child walking around town. Either way, not good. And number 5 is Blackreach. Remember this place? It's an awesome idea to explore the first time you get there.
I actually
There's a real
love
sense of
Blackreach.
mystery to everything.
It's one of my
Like, you're
favorite
the first
places.
person to have ever entered this unknown and undisturbed place in hundreds of years. But when you have to go through it the second time, or a third, or a fourth, or more, it just goes from being this massive, cool, open area to just another place you have to get through. It doesn't help that the few ways to get there involve passing through some pretty big dungeons on their own, so
Yeah.
your inventory will already be full by the time you actually get there. So, like, what are you gonna pick up there that matters?
That's why I have
It's
mods
not
for
like a
backpacks and
universal
stuff.
opinion or anything. A lot of people still really like Blackreach, but there are a ton of longtime players who just find the place bothersome and annoying to go through after a while. Worst of all is that for a lot of people, the feeling of wonder disappeared after actually exploring the place and finding.
I mean, yeah, if you have explored something, you get there a second time, it can get boring. Or if it's like the 4th or 5th time. For me, I think the first 3 times I went there, I was crazy excited. Like the 4th time, it was very normal to me. But what I love about Blackreach here is, like, it looks so unique. There is nothing inside Skyrim that looks like that. Like, yeah, the Draugr crypts, they are sometimes like copy-paste of one another, right? Like, if you visit some cities, except for Markarth, because this one looks not like any other, well, like, some cities are even almost copy-paste. But if you check here, I think it's very unique. I like this with, like, the glowing mushrooms and all the Dwemer technology and stuff. I think this is so cool.
Wonder disappeared after actually exploring the place.
But
and
yeah,
finding out
3-4
there's not
times
really
there,
a
it's
lot
not
of
exciting
interest
anymore,
To see.
yeah.
There's actually very little to do in Blackreach. Combine that with the size, and it becomes a place that's kind of more of an annoyance than anything
They
else.
should have added
which
more
sucks
quests
because,
there.
at least to me, it's a really cool looking area.
Yeah,
and one of the
it's
most
unique.
visually interesting in the entire series. And number 4 is annoying companions, and you know
How?
exactly what we're
'Cause they,
talking about here.
walk into
Lydia
the way.
blocking a door, standing in front of your arrows,
Oh,
or ruining
yes.
your stealth, or setting off a trap.
And then you kill
But
her
companion
accidentally.
AI is not the best in this game, and there are many, many examples of these people, these NPCs, causing more problems than they solve. Worst of all is when they just kind of get lost on their own, or you set them to stay in one place so you can sneak around, but then when
This happened to me. I was like in stealth mode and I was about to shoot a target, and then for some reason my companion walks in front of my arrow while I'm in stealth mode, and this made me get detected even. I hated it.
enemy notices you, the companion immediately goes aggro and sets off the entire area. And don't get us started on the horses. Why exactly is it you, a horse, are trying to help me in combat? You are going to get killed, horse. Again, not for the first time. Like, we're only scratching the surface.
Yeah,
in terms
horses
of
get
annoying
angry.
stuff with companions here.
So,
But anyone
not
who's
really.
played Skyrim long enough knows exactly what we're talking about. It is fun to roll around with a companion sometimes, but they can be more trouble than they are worth. And number 3 is the dragon battles. The first time you actually see a dragon in Skyrim, it's this epic moment.
Yes.
It's awesome. Like, you're eventually going to have to go up against this thing. And when you do manage to take one down, you feel like this legendary hero. But then you fight another, and another, and another.
Oh, yeah,
and eventually these fights start to become an annoying roadblock rather than this awesome, memorable moment. Trying to hit
What I hate is if I have to turn a quest in, or I'm like near to a city and I'm like, I have to go to my house now or something, then sometimes suddenly a dragon appears and gets in my way. Like, it is cool at first, but after sometimes it gets annoying because I'm on my way to somewhere and then suddenly a dragon attacks me, and it happens quite close to cities even, and that annoys me the most.
Hit these guys while they're
If it's in
flying
the wilds, I
around
don't
is
care, but near
annoying,
cities?
even if you're like a good archer, and they will spend a lot of time flying around, which is not that bad, but after fighting them enough, those lulls in the battle go from a minor
Like here,
annoyance
this
to a
happens to me
huge
all the time near
irritation,
cities.
especially if you're in the middle of doing something else. If a dragon decides to attack a town and all the people
kill the
scatter,
NPC
you
that
can't
I have to turn a
interact with
quest
anybody
in.
until it's gone, so you're basically forced to fight it if you want to turn in some quests quickly.
Yes,
Hell,
'cause-
if all you want to do is wander around and take in the scenery, the annoying screech of a dragon can ruin your nice little nature walk. A huge part of the appeal of Skyrim is actually just wandering around and doing whatever, and anytime a dragon appears as a distraction, even if they're not a danger to you anymore. Hell, especially if they're not a danger to you anymore. Like, what's the point? Where's the suspense? There are no stakes. At the end of the day, they can just be kind of awkward to deal with too. Once you get far enough in the game, even the valuables they drop aren't worth the effort, and their bones are so heavy they're not worth hauling around. Play
Unless
the game
you
long
are
enough,
wearing
and
heavy
dragons
armor.
go from being legendary encounters to annoying distractions. They're just not dangerous anymore, and they just waste your time. And number 2 is stealth archers, or really any game-breaking builds. Here's the thing,
They're too
players
OP.
don't hate stealth archers because they're bad. Far from it, they actually hate them because they're too damn good. The second someone discovered just how overpowered the stealth archer build was in Skyrim, it practically ruined any other builds in the game. Of course, there are plenty of other ways to completely break the difficulty of the game. It's just that the stealth archer build is so powerful and so easy to do that it's hard to resist. You start
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of realistic because let's be honest, if there was like, there are like medieval times and there's an archer hidden somewhere in the bush and he aims at someone's neck or head with a bow and he shoots and hits the target, of course it's a one shot. Like that's sort of realistic, right? But at the same time, like, stealth is just too OP in this game. It's way too easy to be undetected in Skyrim, in my opinion. It would be cool if it was like more challenging. I think it's not the damage bonus and that it's so OP, but I think it's because stealth, like, in itself is way too OP. It's way too easy to stay undetected, even if you are like I was in stealth 2 meters from my target, like literally they're like 2 meters, and my target doesn't recognize, like, I can even be in front of my target if my stealth is high enough and they don't see me, and I'm like in daytime 2 meters in front of my target, the target looks at me and doesn't detect me. It's so weird.
a new game, like, I'm gonna play Mage Knight or whatever this time.
But
And
Mage
it
is
takes
fun.
forever to beat a single enemy.
Because you
and
can
you're getting
send stuff
frustrated
flying.
and you just switch back to Stealth Archer again. What makes this quote-unquote class so powerful is that stealth in general is very effective in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Have enough points in it, basically
Look.
nothing will notice you, even when you're standing practically right in front of it.
Yeah.
And that with critical bonuses you get from attacking from stealth and a decent bow, and you'll be one-shotting enemies left and right. Funny enough, the Stealth Archer build shows up in Fallout 4 as well. It's basically just as good there. Like I said, it's not the only good build in the game. Using alchemy and enchanting can totally break the game as well, along with certain class and race combos, but Stealth Archer is just so easy that it is hard to resist. When one or two builds are so much better than the rest, you're left to wonder what's the point of ever doing anything else. Skyrim gives you a ton of options for how to build your character, but for certain players, about 80% of those options are totally pointless. They just go with what works best, and sometimes you kinda hate that. And finally, at number 1, it's trying to
What's
get all
number
your
1?
mods to just work. Yep, everyone loves modding in Skyrim. Everyone's crazy for it. But here's the thing. As much as people love modding
Error.
the game, there are times when they absolutely hate it too. There's a certain point where every modder goes overboard with mods and starts running into problems. Certain mods aren't compatible. Different mods need to be different places in the load order. Or something just gets installed wrong. Maybe you download an outdated version of the mod, or maybe a change, or someone else gets...
I think I once had it where I had like 2 mods that were doing like the same thing basically, and one was like more new and one was like older, and I forgot to delete the older version of that one, so I had 2 mods that did the same thing. Was this for like, I think it was for like racial bonuses if I'm not mistaken. Or was it like standing stone overhaul with like those stones that give you bonuses? I forgot if it was race or for those standing stones, but I had like 2 mods that did the same, and I couldn't even load into my game anymore. And I had to figure out for hours what is causing this, because I had no clue that I had like 2 mods that literally do the same thing and they are not compatible. So it took me a while to actually get rid of the old one, and then I didn't know which one was the old one, so I had to check like details, when was this one added and this one, then I figured it out.
continue working on a different
That was
mod
annoying.
page. Lots of
I lost
stuff.
almost half my
Downloading
day
and
once
installing mods
figuring
can be
out.
fun, but it can also be a huge pain in the ass, especially when you get really crazy with them and try to start the game with like 200 mods activated at once. Trying to troubleshoot mod issues can be a total nightmare, but when you finally get it all working, there really is no better feeling. Then
Yeah.
you play the game for like 10 minutes,
content.
admire your handiwork, turn it off, and start downloading more mods. It's the modder's curse. It's both fun and infuriating. When everything works great, I mean, that's great. But when it doesn't, it really sucks. That's all for today. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so.
Yeah,
We upload brand new
let's
videos
click
every
like.
day of the week. Best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications and
Alright, let's give this video a like. It was very informative, and I agree with most of it. I like Blackreach. I'm not really that bored of it. At least not now. Maybe one day I will. I find it cool, but yeah, there are like not so many quests. I wish there were like more quests in Blackreach and stuff. And with mods, you definitely get a way different experience in Skyrim. If you have not played with mods yet in Skyrim, or there are some you haven't tried, just be open to it, try them. It's gonna be fun. I had like one even once installed for like crazy weather, and like there was like this one survival one, so you need to go close to a fire or inside the house if it gets cold, or was it at night? There were like periods where you could take like freaking damage by just adventuring outside. There was this kind of survival mod, and I thought this was also fun. It makes gameplay a bit more difficult, and you have to eat and stuff, and if you don't eat something, like at some point you lose health. This is a very cool mod. But yeah, guys, if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And let me know in the comment section what you think is the most annoying thing about Skyrim. What do you hate the most inside Skyrim? Let us know in the comment section. I wish everyone a wonderful day. And I will see you guys next time.